Well, welcome to the Hangout, and guess who we are hanging out with today? I haven't seen him in 2 years, although I have kept track of what he's been up to. Morne Morkel joining us. Morne, great to chat to you. I wish it was better circumstances, but see what lockdown has forced us to do. Reconnect.
Yeah, great to see you too. I mean, like you said, it's almost been 2 years. Obviously missed our interviews we used to have, while I was playing, but different circumstances, and let's try and make the most of it. For me, I was sort of planning and getting ready for the English summer to go back to Surrey. I was supposed to fly 2 weeks ago, so I was sort of in the winter getting myself ready, training here, and I played a bit of club cricket for Manly Cricket Club, and one or two Big Bash games. But yeah, unfortunately, with all of this now, I'm back on daddy duties. I always laugh. All the conversations I have with people, they say, the beauty about lockdown is, you can read and reflect and about life. But for me, I've got two young boys here that's keeping me busy. And, I'm either Spider-Man or Batman or, doing craft or homeschooling during the day. So I must say it's been pretty full on.
So the last 2 years, has it almost been like a time of reflection for you? Did you make the right decision?
I try not to think about it too much. It's hard now switching Italian and watching the boys play. I mean, I miss that environment. I think I'll always miss it. But life in Australia for me has been pretty good. Like I said, the sort of new adjustment to family life and living a slower life has been great. The only thing that I sort of struggle or hurdle I had was going to the UK for 5 months and then playing there and saying goodbye to the family, because for me it's now a stage where Arias, the oldest boy, he needs to sort of have routine and settle in school, so that he can't sort of travel as much as he used to with me. But I think I mean, South Africa or the Proteas will always be part of me, and it's nice now to sit and after a good or bad day, message the boys and just to stay in touch. I think I missed the whole package. One was obviously representing the country, and two was I really enjoy the sort of the whole planning before tour, and once you pack your bag and get ready for tour, and so that's I think sort of living with brothers or a team. I mean, I did that for most of my life. I was with guys 365 days of the year, living and you have that sort of friendship sort of bond. And now that you've stepped away and you live in a different country, it is, and finding your feet sort of with life after cricket, it's, we spoke about it quite a lot before we retired, but now that I'm living it, it's quite tough. But like I said, I'm finding my feet every day, step by step, and
That first season at Surrey, 59 wickets, you helped them to a championship. What do the different structures that you've been involved in cricket teach you? And I guess you're like the best person to ask what the best structures are.
Going straight into county season after international season helped me a lot. I was cricket fit, I was bowling fit. I think, the second season, it was a little bit harder for me, because I do a majority of my training I have to do by myself now. In Australia, I need to find facilities to go and train, and then, I do meet up with the Surrey squad just before the start of the season. Just to set up the structure at Surrey is very professional. I mean, we played a game against Hampshire, and there were about 11 to 12,000 people watching that game. There was close to 11 internationals on the field. So I think when you sort of, for me, the structure, like moving away from international cricket, that is as close to international cricket that felt to me on that day. I think Surrey, they're a club that they're after success like any other club, but they're one of the most successful clubs in the UK, and there's a lot of responsibility, on me to come out and go out and perform and help the team on and off the field. So that's a challenge I do enjoy. Luckily I was in a fantastic school for 13 years there in South Africa in the Proteas camp, and had fantastic leaders to help me with that. So I'm slowly sort of enjoying, that challenge now to sort of help and develop their structures in the UK as well.
If you had to look back, What was it, do you think, that gave you such an intense drive for cricket?
My dad always took us to most of the cricket games, either the Wanderers or Centurion. And I remember there was one particular one-day game. It's in Supersport Park, Centurion, South Africa against Australia. And, Gary Kirsten, Peter Kirsten, they're walking down. And, just when the crowd sort of cheered, that atmosphere on the field, I mean, as a young boy sitting there, for me, that's where I started dreaming. And, for me, if I get the opportunity, that's the same thing that I'll take my boys, is to take them to the ground, watch the game live, and that's where you sort of you get a real feel for what's it about, and I think with that, and growing up in a family where both my brothers played, and they used to bring all their provincial colours back home and all their tracksuits, and I was a sort of youngster that at night I'll try that tracksuit on and walk around in it at the house, and sort of wanting that as well. And I think that's where the drive started for me.
Where do you weigh in when it comes to raw talent? I mean, it's obviously in your genes, versus like deliberate practice. How much of each do you need to be an elite athlete?
That's a good question. I think it's something you can debate, for hours. I do believe, if you've got raw talent, it does make life a little bit easier. But, now in the modern days, with all the technology and the amount of training and different skill training that you do, people can catch up, very quickly. And I think talent will take you, so far. But like you said, you need that extra bit of skill. But for me, it is sort of more the mental makeup inside. You see a lot of youngsters at school, they're very talented, and after school they fade away. Or guys in provincial setup, all the talent, all the hard work, but they fade away. And for me, it's a tough world out there. And as talented as you are, or all the skills, your mental makeup is the most important thing. Knowing to push on, knowing not to give up. That your lucky break might be around the corner. And then also to be in a system where you get support, have your close people that can give you the right advice. I think that for me is the most important thing, and I was quite lucky with that. I had good sounding board, I had good people that I could reflect on and ask advice and call when I needed advice. So it wasn't all about just talent and training hard. It was about making smart decisions. And when eventually when the opportunity came, you were ready for that opportunity to make the most of it.
Where does that mental game plan start?
For me, it sort of starts. I try to put myself, under pressure, a lot under pressure, about 2-3 days before a game. And then really sort of, visualize a lot of scenarios, a lot of sort of, game plans. And then, I'll be nervous for 2-3 days. And as I get sort of closer to game day, I'm sort of more at ease, because for the 3 days, I've lived the moment. In my mind, I've come up with a plan, and I felt more prepared. I felt like if I sort of just shut it down and didn't pay any attention to that, if I arrived in game day, I felt very rushed. So for me, it was sort of a couple of days before a game or a big game, was sort of living that moment. Sort of visualizing the role that I was going to play, when I was going to bowl, who I'm going to bowl to, and really just like playing a movie in my mind that I wanted to live out, or I wanted on that day to happen. And strangely enough, when I got the ball in my hand, it felt like I was there before, and I could just sort of go and execute.
I don't know if you have vivid memories of it, but I hope you do. March 2014, there was this barrage of bounces that you sent Michael Clarke's way. Was that the type of visualization that just came to fruition, or was that game plan?
That was just a moment thing. I think Graham just sort of Mitchell Johnson used that a lot in the series, and Michael Clarke was the guy that always told Mitch to come around the wickets, and they sort of thought if that is a game plan of Michael Clarke, maybe there's a deeper sort of secret that he's also in the back of his mind, because he was also getting older, that there was a fear of the short ball. So they said, okay, let's go at Michael and let's see, how he plays the short ball. And I think it was just before we played PE before Cape Town, and I bowled a spell late afternoon around a wicket, which sort of, that day sort of sparked something in our team that, well, hang on, this could work. And Cape Town, obviously, that was the game plan to him.
Oh, he's taking some blows here. He doesn't want to play the ball. Clarke either has to take it on or get right out of the way of it.
And he does play it well when he takes it on. We've seen that. That would have been a painful blow on the forearm.
But no arm guard on it, and he's got to get his hands out of the way. That ball isn't bouncing enough to be getting out of the way. You've got to play that ball. Morkel is steaming in. Another severe blow to Michael Clarke. This time to the side of the face, or the side of the head, I should say. Just missed the stumps as it ricochets off Michael Clarke. It loops behind him. He had no idea where that ball was. And this crowd is just loving it. This is the hardest court test cricket you'll see.
What a contest. A brilliant bowler versus one of the best batsmen in the world.
Yeah, I mean, that is a great day. To hear the Newlands crowd, go crazy like that was amazing. But yeah, unfortunately, JP was a touch too deep with the ball we gloved, and otherwise it would have been the perfect over. Sort of, bowling heaps of short balls and then getting him out. But he played well. He scored 100 that day.
He did, but apparently he had sleepless nights. A sleepless night that night.
Well, good. I mean, I've had many in my life, batting at 11 and knowing I had to face their bowlers. But it's good to hear.
What's on your highlights reel when you look back and you're reminiscing?
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't done that for a while. I think the biggest one is, I suppose, yes, it's the World Cup semi-final against New Zealand. I think there are so many small margins, and till this day, I can close my eyes and I can feel that last sort of 10 overs and relive that last 10 overs. And yeah, I I honestly believe that if we got over that hurdle, the Aussies till this day, I think they'll admit that they were very relieved that they didn't play us in that final, because I reckon we would have bullied them in that final. But for me, I think that's sort of one game that still till this day haunts me a little bit, because like I said, it's small margins. I mean, that's also over here. When I was in India a couple of weeks ago, that's one of the games they replay it the most. So I mean, it's always there to haunt me. Now I follow Grant Elliott on Instagram as well, and he posted something about the World Cup the other day. But yeah, I think that's one game. I think for so long we put a lot of mental energy and a lot of preparation, and even that 5-6 weeks in the World Cup, we put a lot of effort in, and yeah, we were there, but not to be. A lot of people don't understand like the dimensions or the layout of the field. It's a rugby field, so sometimes it's quite hard to work angles like in fielding positions. And I remember there was one position at Dell. It's Dell's last over. I was fielding a third man, and with the layout in the field, your third man needed to be a lot wider. It's just because with the ball, the angle of the ball was going to go there, and we had a gut feeling that with Dale bowling to Vittori, I mean, there's no way that I was going to stop the ball. If we got like a slight nick, I think they took the slip out, or there was some sort of field play. AB moved the field, and I thought, okay, let me go touch finder, because if Dan gets any bat, on it, even if it's outside edge, there's no ways I'm going to stop the boundary. And true as hell, I went 5 meters to my right. And 2 balls later, he sort of cut the ball to exactly where I was standing, and the ball went for 4. So, I mean, it's small margins like that. You try to anticipate the game, you try to read the game, what if, and then, something like that happens. And, I mean, there's so many things, like if I sometimes watch a thing like a ball or a bowl there, why did I try to go a wide Yorker? I should have gone, like a straight Yorker. And I suppose you can't change it. You sort of get that sickening feeling in your tummy for about 10 minutes, and then your boy will jump on you from behind with a Spider-Man mask on his face, and life goes on. For me, it's great now to share those stories more with with guys starting their journey. I think that's a big thing, for me going forward is to be able to be a soundboard or to be there for younger players or youngsters finding their feet in the game. I don't think there was enough of that when I was growing up. I think a lot of times you want to open up to somebody if you found you thought you would be too vulnerable, or you were too scared of what people would think. And for me, I mean, those sort of, I've lived that now. So I know exactly what somebody is going to go through when they play in the World Cup. So to have that and sit and have a one-on-one chat to somebody and say, listen, this is what you can expect, and let's be on the same page, and they can share their emotions. I think that will be a lot of growth can take place then. But I think from personal learning, yes, but my career is done. So it's now for me important to share that knowledge with the next sort of generation. And because I feel the World Cup is around the corner. We've got a fantastic bunch of players, especially with our leadership and with Mark and Enoch and those guys. They're in the right track, and those guys must just tap into the guys that have been there before, and hopefully we can share some good stories and and connect with those guys and build something really special.
If you had to complete the sentence, injury teaches you.
Injury teaches you responsibility, appreciation. I think responsibility in terms of you need to get fit. You can't just sit and feel sorry for yourself. You need to go and get off the couch and do that extra sort of bit to get to the top level again. It teaches you discipline. Discipline to look after your body. To listen to your body. So I reckon sort of those two.
When you are playing county cricket, you wake up and you get to call the Oval your home. That is special. But if there's one ground that you're playing for the rest of your life, which is it?
One ground to play for the rest of my life? That's a tough question. I've got about three, 4 grounds that's my favorite, and I can't really pick one. It's very hard. So I've had a lot of good success at PE, so I really enjoy bowling at Port Elizabeth. I love Cape Town. Lords is obviously special, and then Supersport Park is where. And then my fifth one. So I've got 5, and then the fifth is over the Oval. The Oval is just it's a great place to play cricket. They love cricket there. They support cricket. I mean, they do T20s are sold out every game. 4-day cricket as well supported, and they do a great breakfast in the morning there for the players. So so Oval will probably be number 1 at the moment, followed by Cape Town, Port Elizabeth, Supersport Park.
That's the top 5. What is one thing that you are mastering?
Mastering at the moment, I guess I would like to say sort of fatherhood. I was for me, I could escape for 5 months of the year and go play cricket, but now it's full on, and I'm hoping. I don't think I'll ever master it, but I'm getting better at it. It's also, like I said, it's teaching me a lot about life, and it's also helping me to be more present. I think a lot of times, as a cricketer, our minds tend to drift, quite a lot to the future. And I think spending time now with my family, with my boys, it helps me to be more present and be more focused in the moment here. If it's like, doing a little bit of craft or, playing with clay or painting and stuff like that. So I enjoy that. Don't laugh, Crystal.
Seeing different sides of you, Morne. I guess, and it does help to have a good partner. I mean, that choice is such a vital choice.
For sure. I'm quite lucky with my partner. She supported me, and she understands, luckily, the life of a sportsman. I even had a luxury sleep in this morning. So she said, "No, I could rest and have a bit of a rest." And mental sort of, relaxed session. So it was good.
What you're called to do, you almost have to do it with courage. But what happens when there's nerves, that's real, and there's fear, and you can almost feel it in your throat? What do you do?
I've experienced that a lot of times in my life, and I reckon it's just it's that self-talk, that voice inside of you that you need to control a little bit. And like I said, and just try and come sort of in the present moment and just focus, break it down to really, ball by ball.
And the last one, Morne, is what are you deeply grateful for right now?
I think, just to be healthy. I went to India, when the Proteas were playing, and I was in India for a bit, and then I came back, and I felt quite ill for a couple of weeks. I had some sort of bug, and I first thought this corona, so I was very stressful about that, and went for the corona test and stuff like that. But luckily it was negative. But I think you just from being active and running the one day to not to be able to get out of your bed and move. I reckon that's you can never take health for granted. And I think for me at the moment to be healthy and to go and sneak out when I do have our activity to go and fish and do things that I love. I mean that's something to be grateful for.